What's going on? What is going on, everybody out here in social media land? It's James Hollingsworth, the Working People's Podcast, where everybody desires to build generational wealth and a financial legacy for their family. And I'm telling you, I got a doozy for you today. But let me do my quick sound check, and we're going to jump right into this joint. I'm telling you, jumping right into this joint, because this right here, we about to blow the whole internet, the roof off the joint. We about to blow the whole internet up. Building with a man, or is it struggle love? To build or not to build? And we're going to get into a conversation that I had on a social media platform, a discourse, conversation, dialogue, whatever you want to call it, where this lady was doubling 10 toes down. Sign language, just in case you don't know what sign language is throwing shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. She was not going to let it go. She right. I don't care how I phrased it to her. And I consider myself a pretty good writer. Let me do my sound check. This lady was doubling. I got good sound. I got good sound. So I know I got sound in the house. Let's change our setting to public. Oh no, public. Oh, sorry. Pressed the wrong button. Going public. So that means, I want you, if you come through live with us, you can have the ability to share the video, and it won't be in private mode. And that way it'll jump in the algorithm and people can see it, watch it, and stuff like that. It's not just confined only to my friends. But first things first, if you're watching on YouTube, we'd love you to help us with the algorithm by pressing the subscribe button. It's free to do that. And I'm still having trouble with my voice, so y'all forgive me. And press that thumbs up like button and ring the notification bell, ding, 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 ding. And share this video, leave some comments and stuff like that below. But like I say, subscribe to the channel. Man, this video right here, it's about to be a banger. I'm telling you right now. And I hope that, because I've noticed quite a bit, we'll see views, especially on Facebook. We'll have a nice views and, showing where people view the videos. But for some reason, people are hesitant, are resistant to press the like button. So it really does help with the algorithms and the engagement if you just press the like button on the video. If you share it, that's even better. If you drop a comment, just to even tell me where you are watching from, or just to drop a comment that you enjoyed the video, anything in the comment section, all of that stuff helps with the algorithm. So then YouTube, Facebook, it'll kick the algorithm in to share the video to more people, right? For people to watch it. So this is about to be a banger. If you're watching here on Facebook, we are streaming live on my personal page, James Hollingsworth, as well as we're streaming on the Facebook page, the Working People's Podcast. You can do the same thing here. Press the thumbs up like button. You just do the hearts. I'll put it in the chat if you want to leave a Snapchat, a Cash App or anything like that. I'll just drop that in the comment section. But hey, I want people to come through and give some comments, because I'm going to read through the conversation that I had with the young lady, and show you the discourse that we had, a lot of it, and give you some commentary on why I was I don't even know if I'm gonna need to give much commentary or context, because to me, I consider myself a pretty decent writer, and I was making a lot of things really plain and clear to her. So, but let me do this real quick. Let's go here. Uh, 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 here we go. Boy, I wish I typed faster. This is gonna be a good one. Here we go. Boy, I'm telling you. What is it? Yeah, yeah. There we go. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Put that right in here. Oh yeah. Got it. Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's get right into it, cause to build or not to build. Should you build with a man, or ladies, is it struggle love? Especially when this dude or this joker, he hits about 35, 40, because the ladies keep saying, I got my stuff together. If you ain't got your stuff together, if he 30, 35, 40, 45, by now he should have his stuff together. You know, ain't nobody signing up for struggle love. I'm constantly hearing that. And now I'm a single man, right? So if anybody has the legitimacy to talk on this subject, I don't want you coming at me talking about, well, you ain't in no relationship right now. What give you the right to talk? I'm a single man. I'm one of these dudes out here looking to pick something. You, you feel me? Something, right? So if anybody can talk on the subject, is me. I'm a eligible, available, single, heterosexual. That means I like women. Man out here looking to point at something and say, hey, are you interested in having a conversation, us getting to know each other, blasey, 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 walking through the process, being intentional about it to see if we are a good match and fit for each other, to move toward this serious commitment that can lead to covenant and marriage. You know, I'm a single, available bachelor, single male, heterosexual male out here looking. So, if anything, that qualifies me more so than a dude that's already married or in a relationship to talk on this subject. So, miss me with the you ain't in no relationship, miss me with that. The whole point is you're exactly right. I'm not in a relationship. I'm looking, or that's not even a good word. I am seeking and desiring. That's probably better. And I want to emphasize I am a heterosexual. I like women. You feel me? So here we go. This, first of all, I want to share with you all some numbers, right? Because we all keep hearing the requirements and the standards of women. I'm telling you, hypergamy got these streets out here cold. Hypergamy got these standards up high, right? So the sisters are saying he's got to make a certain amount of income. Um, a lot of them, still they still want you to be taller than them, and I get all that. That part, I get it. I get it. I'm not kicking it. They got a lot of them will have. They really want them to be 6 feet or taller. A lot of I'm hearing more and more women saying, as long as she's taller than me, I'm cool with that. So he can be 5'8", 5'9", like 5'9". I think that's like the average height of men, in America, somewhere around there, in that range. So, I think that's reasonable, whatever. And but I really want to focus on the income component, right? And I'm not going to necessarily talk about the education. I might talk about the educational component just a little bit, right? But it's that income component, right? And so my comment, let's go ahead and put that on the screen. No. Yes, I could put my original comment on the screen, but what I won't do, I'll take it off the screen when I start reading through the thread where this lady and I were having a dialogue and conversation back and forth, because I don't want anybody to see her name and be like, "Girl, she crazy," and start trying to find on Facebook and stuff and go in her DMs and start harassing her and say. So I'm gonna take it off the screen when I get to that part and just read some of that. But I'm gonna put on the screen my original comment, right? And read through it so you can see what I originally said. Here it is. So here's my original comment. I don't know if I can bring that in a little closer. Yeah. Yeah. Here's my original comment. And then I'm going to get into some financial data and show you some stuff. My original comment said, interesting how before I leveled up, I wouldn't have met the financial requirements of literally eating. I'm talking about zero, y'all. Zero. Zero. The big, saying zero. Before I leveled up, I wouldn't have met the financial requirements of literally any of the women who have come on this show. But because I was starting over again, and if you don't look deep enough into the character of a man, I said character of a man, quite often many men get overlooked, and that's why we don't look back when we break through, level up, and climb up out the mud. That's what I said, right? That's what I said. That was my comment. And I stand by that, even now. I think it was very well articulated, and I stand by that even now. So I don't know, anybody in the comment section, if you can tell me what your initial thoughts about that statement and how you feel about it. But I thought it was articulated very well, and I was very, very clear that number one, I was focusing on the character of a man as it relates to, a woman, if you want to build with a man or not. I'm not talking about potential, which is, in my opinion, potential is subjective, but I'm talking about the character of a man. You can assess the character of somebody, right? At least that's what I really, really, everything that I understand, you can assess the character of people. That's a measurable metric. You can come up with some standard to measure character. It gets very, very difficult, challenging, if not impossible, to measure potential, because how do you gauge that? So I focused on character, and I literally said, interesting how before I leveled up, I wouldn't have met the financial requirements of literally any of the women who have come on this show. So I don't think I've ever heard, since I've been watching this show for a while, I don't think I've ever heard not one woman say anything under 50,000. And even the ones that might say 50, it's very, 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 very rare. that you hear a woman will say like 50. Normally, probably the starting point with that they want a man's income to be, no matter who they are, what their personal situation is, their background, their income, their current present income, what they do for a living, any of that. Normally, like the starting point, I'm noticing it probably starts around, I'd say 70,000 is where they want this guy to be. 70,000 and up. You hear 100,000 or 100K. You hear that a lot. But typically, they probably start about, say they want somebody making 70K, 70,000, and then they go up from there. And there are a lot of women that have come through. They want this guy making 200, 250. You know what I'm saying? And I won't get into this today because I want to focus on this conversation and a few other things. And I want to stay pinpointed on that. But a lot of them think that, well, just because they may have dated a guy in their past, that made a certain amount, that that's become there's especially if they've been intimate with him. We all know that when men are intimate, typically with women, they got various reasons, that they're intimate with women. But now, if a woman has been intimate with a man on a certain level, even if it's been one time, quite often it seems to be, and it appears to be, that she believes now that is her new standard of opportunity and her new standard of men that she's dated, even though it's only been one. Okay, let me stop it. Okay, so you saw my initial my initial my initial comment. So let's get into some income stuff. I want to show it to you so you can see it for yourself. You feel me? So you can see it for yourself. So let's look at this is not men in these numbers. This is the black race. I'm going to do the black race because I'm a black man. But this number literally encompasses women and men, right? And it still shows in the United States individual income distribution by race and ethnicity. This is in 2022, right? So I typed in income $100,000, race black, and I hit calculate. It doesn't separate men from women in this data point. So you look and you see 90. That means that only 10% are of black people, male and female combined. It comes up and says only 10% cross that threshold, and I'm kind of making the assumption that they're probably referencing the year 2022, only 2022, right? But if you're talking about people that consistently hit that, right, year after year after year, and they never fall below it, right? You're talking about somebody who is in the upper 10 percentile of income earners in the United States as far as it relates to individual income, and who are black or identify as black, right? So now if we start extracting out the women from this number, right? And then if we start extracting out men who are already married from this number, and if we start extracting out men who live an alternate lifestyle, who are not looking for a female partner, companionship, out this number, right? If we start extracting things like that out this number, that number gets even smaller than the 10%. Let me get off screen so I can make this plain, because some people probably need me to explain it in crayon. So I typed in 100,000 individual income, $100,000 black. This figure includes male, female, and it says 10% in the year 2022. Cross that threshold. Excuse me. Cross that threshold. So now, if we start extracting out of that 10% of people, all the women, let's extract them out, right? The number gets smaller. Let's extract out the men who are already married. Well, obviously, the number's going to get smaller. Now let's extract the men out who are not looking for a female, who live an alternate lifestyle. That number gets even smaller. So let's look at this. Let's go up to $250,000, right? Because as we are watching, I don't care, pretty much a lot of times, and social media is not real life, but trust me, I've talked to a lot of women in real life. You know, a pretty a guy that we're friends on social media on Facebook. He made a post a while back. Excuse me, that he had went out on a date with a woman, and it was like the first date, and she was asking him about his income and telling him her requirement, and she was starting at about, well, this guy's got to make at least $70,000. You got women that don't want to eat at the doggone Cheesecake Factory or Red Lobster, or what's the name of the place? Texas Roadhouse. They don't want to go to places like that. Olive Garden. They don't want to go to places like that for a first date. For a first date, y'all. They don't want to go to places like that for a first date. So this $100,000 requirement, starting there, 10% of Black people making that, including women, extract out the women, extract out married men, extract out men that that are not looking for a relationship with a woman, and that number gets even lower. So let's look at 250,000. Who making 250,000? All right. On the screen, you see Black right there, right over here. You see Black. The average income, if you look at the average income, this is from 2022, $51,394.59. That's the average. Median income. A lot of times median, is reflected a little bit better because of how you calculate it. But anyway, I don't get into all that. 38,800, right? Because we're not just talking about men in these numbers. We're talking about men and women in these numbers, right? Okay. Top 1%, y'all see it. It's right there on the screen. The top 1% of Black people. This is not household. This is individual income. $250,000. Oh, and that little lonely $1 over there. 250,000. That's the top 1%. Extract out the women. Extract out the already married men. Extract out the individual incomes of men that are not looking to be in relationship or partnership with a woman. And that 1% suddenly becomes so minuscule and small that you probably couldn't even pee on it. But there you have it. So you're looking at a top 1%, less than 1% black man making $250,000 a year. Now, some people may say, yeah, but where I live, that's a lot of people make that. Okay, we're talking about the entire United States, first of all. And guess what else we're talking about? We're talking about that there's millions of people that's here in America, right? Millions. So if you live in a certain neighborhood or you work in a certain career field, yeah, you may know, as far as your circle, you may be in an anecdotal sense uh, in a place where three, four, five, several people that's making that. You know what I'm saying? I work in the field where I know certain people, a lot of men that's making a certain income, right? Because of the field that I work in. But then if you start talking about black people that's in that field, it's not as many as other ethnicities and races. However, because of the field that I'm in and the circle that I'm in, yeah, I could say I know a lot of guys that's making a certain income, right? But at the same time, James Hollingsworth, I live in reality. I know that there's a whole lot more people that's in the United States that's not in my circle, right? I got the enough consciousness to know that there's a lot more people that's walking in the state that I live in, walking on the earth in the United States, who live in other areas, who have other jobs, and who are doing other things that don't do what I do for a living, right? So they're in a whole different, income bracket as far as the individual income. But you saw it. I put it on the screen. Back to the conversation. As I said, this time I'm not going to put it on the screen. I'm just going to read it, the dialogue, and go through it and give my point of view and perspective about some of the things I said and why I said what I said. So it really is, do you build with a man? And a lot of the ladies, after they start getting to a certain age, it's consistent. I'm not seeing a lot, I'm not even gonna say most, definitely not gonna say all. I'm not even gonna say majority, but you hear it a lot. I will say that, where the ladies are saying they don't want struggle love. Me and my good friend and sister Deidre, we early on we did some shows, and I was like, ladies, they don't want no build a boo. They don't want no struggle love. Trust me, I'm a single man. I'm out here too. Trust me, I've had conversations trying to see what's up here and there, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. You ladies, they don't want no struggle love. They want you to run this marathon, 26 miles. They want you to have swam across the ocean and not get bitten by sharks or eaten by alligators. They want you to have rode a bike as a triathlete 10 miles with cramps in your ankles and cramps in your calves. They want you to run that 26-mile marathon, and when you get to the finish line, they want to be standing there waiting on you. And then they want to walk up on the podium with you for you to collect your your trophy and your prize, because they feel like they the prize for all of that work that you put in. And so they want to be there at the finish line waiting on you, polished, refined, put together, got everything lined up in place, equal or at least 50% above their level, right? And they want you like this, earning this amount of money And they want you put together. They want you already healed emotionally. They want you refined and polished. And they want you to have done all of that, show up at the finish line, and they just say, ta-da! They don't want struggle love. They don't want struggle love. So back to the conversation. This is her first comment. Let me go down to it and find it. Yeah, there it is. Yep, this is it. I want to make sure that's it. Yeah, this is her first comment. Like I say, I'm not going to put it on the screen because I don't want nobody seeing her name. Going on this platform, trying to find her and shooting her messages, telling her, girl, you crazy. What's wrong with you? Trying to convince her. If I couldn't convince her with all of this dialogue and all the stuff I shared, I don't even know if Moses with the burning bush and his staff turning into snakes and rabbits and frogs or turtle doves can convince her. She got her mind made up. The way she's saying it is the way it is. She says asking someone to sign up for the building and struggling of your level up is a huge gamble that usually doesn't work in the woman's favor. If one party has already built, do you really think it's unfair for them to ask for a partner on their level in every way? I don't understand how one even desires companionship while starting over. Why are you not solely focused on that? My response was, well, that's exactly the point and emphasis. In my case, I was solely focused on my purpose, and I still am. But likewise, with the same thought process, why should I look back and reach back and level them up off my hard work? Wouldn't that be just as unfair? That's why the emphasis on my original post wasn't about potential at all. It was about a man's character. And certainly, and I certainly understand the apprehension and the general point you're attempting to make. However, in my case, and I even shared some things personal. And if anybody really know me, I don't like sharing certain things. I'm a pretty private person as far as really, really talking about me and a lot of things in my personal life. Yeah, I do the podcast, stuff like that. But really to know certain things about me, you have to know me, like know me in real life to know certain things about me. So I shared just a little bit, just enough, and maybe she, because she don't know me, maybe she thought this was a general statement. It wasn't, necessarily applicable to me and my, as I was talking about me, but I was talking about me. I said, God, that I said, and in where's it at? Where is it? Oh, in my case, I'm the same man who possessed the same knowledge, skill set, and intellect as before. If I had the know-how of a Series 7 licensed financial advisor before the fall, I still have that same acumen, skill set, and knowledge base during the process that it took me to rebuild and restore that which was lost, except in a greater capacity now, because I now know how to implement better risk management strategies and better understand risk capacity and the importance of other elements to bounce back better than I was before. So she comes back and she says, um, wanting someone of great character goes without saying. Too many men get hung up on the financial slash stability component. I'm not quite sure what she meant by that, especially, sorry, especially in context of what she followed up saying, right? She says too many men get hung up on the financial slash stability component when it's been the women that's saying they want stability and they're the ones who want the financial aspect of providing protection and security, right? So I wasn't quite sure what she really necessarily meant with that, right? She said, what I don't understand is why do you, that's you in the general sense, I knew that's what she meant, want somebody to overlook your present day struggle for character. Well, I'll get to that later. We know the stress of that process and the unfortunate toll it usually has on a relationship. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but that's what she said. Once you've leveled up, no one is asking you to look back and reach back. You're now on the level. Check this out. Hey, hey, brother Sharp, check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Because I'm gonna drop something on you, and some of y'all are gonna get pissed off and mad at me, but I'm gonna drop it on you, right? Once you've leveled up, no one is asking you to look back and reach back. You're now on the level of the woman who've been there all along. I'm gonna read that again. Once you've leveled up, no one is asking you to look back and reach back. You're now on the level of the woman you who've been there all along. Uh-oh. 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 Once you've leveled up, nobody's asking you to reach back. No, you just now reaching on the level of the women that's been there all along. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So my response was correction. I said correction. I was never on her level. I was always above her level. That's why I got the outcomes and the results now to demonstrate that. It's far too often the women look at the wrong things and assessing what level they think he's on based on his present circumstances. I was always above her standards and requirements in every facet and regard. Uh-oh. So she comes back without tangible evidence in the moment. That's only your potential she can gauge. That's what she said. This is a good conversation, by the way. I think she was respectful. Um, I think it's good conversation. So I came back and I said, don't mean to bombard you with back to back posts, but you're stating exactly what the men are saying in this comment thread. If she's not willing to take a risk to rock with you in the building or rebuilding stage, Why should you trust that her intentions and anything about her is genuine and authentic to risk all that you've built on someone who, from the male perspective, just wants to meet you at the finish line after you've put in the hard work and now you're finished? You're a finished, polished man reaping the benefits of the struggle that you toiled alone. She comes back and says, why should you trust her intentions? Because you vetted her properly for the things that matter to you, and she checks off those requirements. That's why. She pretty clever though. I gotta give it to her. I ain't gonna lie, sis. She pretty clever, but she ran up on a brother. She ran up on somebody. She ran up on the wrong one. Cause it's certain stuff I can see it from not a mile, not 2, not even 5 miles. It's certain stuff I can see it from 10 miles away. I can smell it coming. And I intentionally write stuff a certain way to bait you right where I want you to go. She says, why should you trust her intentions? Because you vetted her properly for the things that matter to you. And she checks off those requirements. Hey, if y'all come through, come on, press that subscribe button on YouTube, right? Ring that notification bell and press that thumbs up like button. Drop some comments. Let me know what you think about this conversation this lady and I was having, right? Same thing here on Facebook. I really want some comments. I really want to hear from some people. Hopefully, some people will drop some comments below. Let me do that. Let me do this right there. Refresh my screen. Okay, there we go. All right. There we go. Thanks for the share. Somebody has shared the video already. I love it. Thank you so much. And it is public, so when you share it, it's going to go into the algorithm. But if you can let me know, because as I'm viewing on the screen, if you're in the view, it lets you drop a comment below. I can't tell who's necessarily viewing. You know, sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. So if you drop a comment below, I can know that you're there or that you came through. So here she goes, because you have vetted her properly for the things that matter to you, and she checks off those requirements. That's why. The mere fact that a man would ask a woman, oh, she walked into the bear trap. She walked into the bear trap. The mere fact that a man would ask a woman to take a risk to rock with him in the building or rebuilding stage sounds completely illogical. She walked right into the bear trap. It's a bad bet and unwise decision. She walking knee deep now in the bear trap. How how more men don't see that, I'll never know. That's the definition of taking a chance on his potential. Let's be clear. Oh, she started to double 2 toes down. She ain't got the 10 toes yet, but she two of them jokers. Let's be clear. We're not talking about 20-something-year-olds. Man, she all in a bear trap now. She don't even know it. Where everybody is getting themselves together as they should be. We're talking about over 30. I'll even push it to over 35. After a certain age, if you don't have yourself together for whatever reason, you also have to accept that you're a bad risk in the dating market. And that means getting your life together without romantic companionship. She's so far into this bear trap, and she done dug herself in a hole that she don't even realize ain't no coming back. She done dug herself so deep. I got her now. I'm like, I got her now. So I responded and said, well, and I said her name. I was just over the age of 35 when I had to rebuild. So, I mean, I put the work in. And you're exactly correct about vetting, but that goes equally for both sides. So if a woman miscalculated and misjudged the situation, and that man's comeback marveled and astonished everyone, oh well, it sounds just as illogical to me to expect that the sudden random burst of DMs all through the night, the hey big head text and the hey we gotta reconnect and catch back up text seems pretty unreasonable to take seriously. I ain't even hit her with the real. I ain't hit her with the juice yet. I'm just playing with her now because I want her to get so deep on her stand. I want her to get so deep on her stand that I literally snatch her up by her, by her, by her, the hair on the back of her neck and be like, gotcha. And then I came back and I said, oh, she came back. And she came back and she said, now, this is when you know you got somebody. Y'all ready for this? There's a way that you got to do this. My very first job, I was in sales. One of my first mentors, I still remember his name to this day. Shout out to Howard Kessler. He taught me well sales. So when you get a person where they have to circle and gotta say, well, I never said that. If you don't understand certain sales dynamics and certain ways of communicating, you don't know how to make that turn and circle to make it work for your benefit. You get caught in the trap even more, right? If you don't know how to do I never said that, right? So that's when you know, oh, you got him. She says, I never said nor implied that you should take seriously the sudden random burst of DMs. What I said, now she got to clarify, what I said in a nutshell was, because now she don't believe that I'm really listening and hear what she's saying. What I said in a nutshell was, except that you're not a good candidate for dating or a relationship, you're not a good candidate. You hear what she's saying now? You're not a good candidate. So let me pause right here and give some context and clarity so I can, bring some of this to a point, right, of context so you can see as I move forward where I'm going with this, because you may be divided on which side you stand right now. So let me give some clarification and some context, right? So she says you're not a good candidate for dating. You shouldn't even be out here on the market at all. You should make sure you fully get yourself together, basically, right? So you're not a good candidate for dating or relationship because this is we just you just be at this point we just be looking at your potential. So let me bring some clarification to this. In my opinion, you cannot quantify potential. You can't really measure potential. That's why I was very, very intentional from the start that I said character, because you can't assess the character of a person, right? So if you're saying this man is not even a candidate to even be on the dating market, he shouldn't even be on the dating market. He shouldn't even have his name in the hat, right? So she is still stuck in this parameter of believing that this is a woman taking a chance on this man's potential, right? And I am talking about character. You can measurably assess character. And what better place to assess character is when a person is going through a struggle, how they handle it, right? So, what better time to sit back and assess a man's character is how did he handle this adversity, right? Okay. So I'm talking about a man's character. I'm not talking about his potential or him just sitting up talking about what he's gonna do. I'm talking about you can look every day and see what he gets up and actually does while he's in what he's going through. You can look up and see what is he doing. You can measure that. You can observe that. You can quantify that, right? You can. I'm not talking about potential. I'm talking about this man's character. So if this man's character doesn't qualify him to be on the dating market because his current circumstance, his current amount of money he's making, his current financial status, that's the part of his life that he's rebuilding, right? That's the part of his life he's rebuilding, his financial status and stuff like that, right? So that's ultimately what you as a woman is focused on more than you're focused on his character. Now the sisters wonder why they pick meter be so far off. Because in a general sense, they struggle with being able to look at a man's character and identify what he's made of. Because we've gotten in this culture so far away from women really looking at a man's character. In fact, when you ask them, what are you looking for in a mate? They'll name a few general stuff, but rarely do you see them with their list where they talk about things that are fundamentally real sound quality character traits. What you want this man's character to be like. In a nutshell, what I said in a nutshell was accept that you need to accept that you're not a good candidate for dating or relationship at that time. Focus on getting yourself together, your money, and once you're back on your feet, vet intentionally for the right partner. So we don't give a care about your character. Just make sure you get your money back right. Because that's the receipt we need to see. We need to see the receipt of your finances and your credit report. And do you have nice teeth? Character, I don't care about your character because we see character potential. That's just your potential. I came back and I said, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I've been hearing you say. That point has not been lost on me at all in the slightest manner. I just don't agree with its premise reasoning nor logic. She comes back and says, why not? Now, she, oh my God, I'm like, this lady, she need to take some sales classes. Because she done rolled up this road with a brother who been here and done this. Hey, real talk though, real talk. When I was a kid growing up, my mother put me in music lessons when I was like 12 years old. And so years later, I asked my mom, I said, Mom, how did you know I was going to stick with it? What? Because she put me and my sister, my baby sister, shout out to my baby sister, in music classes. And my baby sister was doing way better than me, but she was memorizing the stuff. So when we get to our lessons, it looked like she was doing way better than me. Me, I was like really trying to learn it. I needed to know it. I needed to learn it, right? So I was kind of struggling. I was behind her in terms of the way things were appearing and looking when we got to our music lessons. Samuel Grimes. So years later, I asked my mom, and by the way, now my sister, she can't play. She can't play nothing. She can't play a lick. She can't play a lick on the keyboard or piano. But I can. So I asked years later, I asked my mom, I said, Mama, how did you know I was going to stick with it? You know, when you put me in lessons and stuff. She said something about my character that she knew about me as a child. She said that basically, she says, you have something in you. I know that you don't quit. You would never quit. You would want to learn. You would never quit, and that you would really, really learn this, and you would apply yourself. So when I was 12 years old, from the age of 12, I know definitely all the way through high school. Yeah, definitely all the way through high school from the age of 12. And I wish my siblings would come through. My couple of my siblings who occasionally come through and watch the show. And I see a couple people from my old church have come through. When I was 12, all the way through high school, up to like 17, 18 or so, I would literally practice like 5, 6 hours a day. They were so, I'm glad, I don't know how they put up with me, but they were so, I don't know about, I mean, it'd be early in the morning, it'd be late at night. I wouldn't have sleep. I would go sometimes 3 days and not sleep. They would hear me play the same run. I would go over to Lively Stone Apostolic Church, one of my early mentors, LG Scott. Shout out to LG Scott. He passed away a couple years ago. He would let me sit in the organ loft at Lively Stone and just watch his hands. Then now this is like 7 o'clock at night. I would go home after the live broadcast. So now, I'm probably getting home at 10:30, and I'm catching the bus. I'm catching the bus, y'all. I'm catching the last bus to get home. And I think I might have even walked home from the church a few times. And then it wasn't close to my house. So I'm getting home maybe 10:30, possibly 11 o'clock, whatever. And I start practicing for 3, 4 hours. And I would practice everything that I remember seeing his hands do over to the wee hours of the mornings. My mama would just lay there. She wouldn't say nothing. And they would hear me playing the same run over and over and over and over and over. I mean, over for an hour, for 2 hours, 3 hours, literally till the muscles start cramping. But I would press through it, and I would just keep doing it. The same runs, the same left-hand chords I saw play, the same everything, over and over and over. And folks, I've been like that my whole life. If it's something that I want to learn and know about, I literally get almost borderline obsessive with it. I'm not an attorney, definitely haven't taken the bar, none of the above, but I literally have represented myself in 3 legal cases where I represented myself pro se. And I won before a judge all 3 of those legal cases because I literally would go to the law library for 5, 6, 7 hours until they literally had to put me out and read every book I could find on any type of law that applied to what I was doing with, even from how to file my briefs, how to serve, how to write the case. I went down and I would pay the fee. I would do it. I served the people. I did from start to finish. 3. I literally had one attorney tell me, this woman told me, I see you've read a few books on law. This was the other attorney saying this to me. I see you've read a few books on law. And you really think you can beat me? I've been doing this for years, she said. In the end, when the judge wrote his whatever it's called, I can't think of the name of it right now. I'm sorry, y'all forgive me. When he wrote his final judgment, right? He wrote that joker so much in my favor. Girl, you don't know me. You don't know me. I literally become obsessed with wanting to know, wanting to have the knowledge. Literally become obsessed with wanting to have the knowledge. So this woman don't know who she's dealing with. So she's telling me that all of that. She says, why not? Just to be sure we're on the same page, the premise, reasoning, and logic is signing up for the build and rebuild and signing up for potential, she says. That's a big gamble that often turns out to be a bad bet. Yep. The process of the build or rebuild is very stressful on the dating and relationship process. Character and level of stability both have to be considered when vetting you. It's not one or the other, nor should it be. I come back and said the big gamble is exactly why the woman should sign up for it. Now she in there now. I got her now. I said the big gamble is exactly why the woman should sign up for it and start rocking with him during the struggle. You get to see firsthand what that man is about, what he made of, how he handled adversity. Shout out Vanessa Downs, Dominic, my guy, Dominic Givens Sr. Shout out to you, brother, for watching. Yeah, Chris, Dorothy Williams, Christy Gray. I said, signing up for the big gamble and the struggle is exactly what you should do. You got to see firsthand what this man is about, what he made of, how he handles adversity, frustration, and so much more. If he putting in the work, why are so many women opposed to being that man's support system? And it shouldn't be anything as stressful as you're saying if you're with a man that's putting in the work, unless you don't have patience or you don't have a nurturing nature and you don't have a prayer life and you don't have faith and a strong belief in him and in his vision and in his purpose. Because y'all need to understand what this sounds like to an ambitious man when he hears women talk like this. You can continue to believe from a woman's point of view that you're right. But I'm expressly letting you know, along with the many other men commenting, that you are wrong. And that's what y'all want, right? A man, right? To us, you're saying this. Number one, this is what all the stuff you're saying, this is what it sounds like to us as men, especially an ambitious man. Especially, let me go back, put this back on the screen. I'll put this back on the screen. Come on, I'm putting this back on the screen because you need to see this. You want a top 1% man, right? Less than 1% man. You want a dude making $250,000. Okay, let's go back down here. You want a top 10% man. Less than 10% men. Because I told you these numbers include women. We haven't adjusted them for heterosexual men. We haven't adjusted them for men that's already married. We haven't adjusted these numbers for men what was the other one? Married heterosexual men and women. And we haven't taken the women out of this number. So you're talking about a potential black man who's in the less than top 10%, less than top 1%, right? Is what you're talking about. That's who you want. Okay? That's who you want. Yeah, let me go back over there and keep on reading. So, to that man, this is what all of this stuff you've been saying sounds like. Number one, I don't believe in him. I don't believe that he's strong enough and got what it takes to make it through really hard and difficult times. That's what it sounds like you're saying to me. But what y'all need to know and understand what happens in a man's psyche when he makes it through a storm. Y'all need to understand what happens in a man's psyche, in his confidence when he comes out after being burned, nearly drowned, after he comes out through a storm. You need to understand what happens in that man's psyche. It gives him the dog comes up out of him. He reaches down in a nature of something in himself where there's a no quit in there. But what y'all need to know and understand is what happens in a man's psyche when he makes it through a storm. But too many of y'all don't even understand men. What makes us tick, what makes us assertive and ambitious to be successful on a high level. Number two, what you saying or what we hear when you saying all of that stuff is I don't believe in his dream. I don't believe in his dream. I don't believe in his vision, his mission, and purpose in life. And if you ever make this kind of a man that most women keep saying they want, feel like or think you don't believe in his dream or support his purpose, you'll never recover from that in his mind. It's a wrap. Men like this have a whole nother level of definition of the word loyal that you're not going to find in a dictionary. Number three, all of that stuff that I wanted you to know, I completely hear what you're saying, lady. Number three, what it sounds like you're saying to that kind of man that you keep saying you want, and you want him after he's already built himself up to that. You don't want to build with him going up to it. You want him after he's already built himself up to that. Number three, what it sounds like you're saying is, I want an easy ride. I'm an opportunist. If things ever get hard in this relationship, I'm not willing to dig in with him and put in the work. I'm out as soon as we go through a rough, bumpy patch. That's what everything you're saying and been saying this entire time, and getting a hand clap of praise and support from the sisterhood sounds like to an ambitious man. The type of man that most women keeps describing and saying they want. Now, y'all can keep kicking against the prick and doubling 10 toes down on what you believe. But I'm trying to tell you, this kind of man that already made it through the process to become successful can smell this, see it coming from 10 miles away. It's a part of that hunting masculine nature, and you're not going to finesse your way to his heart, no matter how beautiful you are, and none of that. His senses are too keen. He's observing you and examining you on a mental, analytical level as a man that y'all don't get it. So rather than keep pushing back at me and keep trying to convince me that what you're saying is logical, right, and in the best interest of women to do, I'm telling you, you're incorrect. You're wrong. And y'all doing yourself a huge disservice. It sounds right to you as a woman. So if y'all want to be in a relationship with another woman, then keep holding on to that faulty logic. But if you want a certain caliber and level of man, you need to get a paradigm shift and change that line of thinking. Now, I want to ask y'all a question, and I hope you all would answer this question in the comment section. Do you think this woman heard what I said? Because sign language, shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right is so strong with certain women, they will refuse to be wrong. Because it's that need to be right. You said you want a man. You didn't say you wanted a frog. That's in Disney, where you can go kiss that joker and he turns into a prince. But you say you don't want potential. Sorry. And you sure can't identify character, so you wouldn't even kiss the frog. Because you'd be like, ain't no doggone way there's a prince inside that ugly, slimy frog. You be like, ain't no way a prince inside that frog. I ain't kissing that frog. you don't want to struggle love. And you ain't building. No, bro. There was a woman who came through, and I was really like, wow. She read through all of that dialogue. And there was a woman that came through and said, James Hollingsworth, you nailed it right throughout this entire conversation. Character is everything. Some women just don't get it. They will choose money over everything. It is great that you can spot these types of women from a mile. Right? And it took a little bit, but this woman still came back. Still came back after all of that and doubled 10 toes down again, to the point, folks, where it ain't even worth reading. Even after all of that, she still came. Hey, y'all give me a thumbs up, please, on the video. Give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it. She still came back after all of that and doubled 10 toes down after I told her the type of man you want, the type of man y'all keep saying you want him finished, right? You want him polished and you want him already complete. You want to meet him at the finish line. I'm telling her, the man that you've been describing, the man that you've been saying, you want him to already have fixed himself up and be on the other side of the struggle, right? Because I baited her into it. I baited her right up, all the way up into it, so I could describe this man to her. And she still couldn't identify what I was saying. I said, the man that you're describing, this is what everything you're saying sounds like to him. So if you want that kind of man, you need to change your perspective, because everything you're saying about this kind of man that you keep describing, who's already got himself together, who's been through the struggle, who's already did the rebuild, who's already put in the work, that you've been this whole time telling me before he get on the dating market, he needs to have all this together. Okay, so I'm telling you, that man right there, this is what all of this stuff that you've been saying sounds like to him. And if you want that kind of man, you need to have a paradigm shift. And she still came back and doubled 10 toes down to try to convince me of what she wanted to say. I'd be like, I'm just trying to hope you. Ain't no hope. There ain't no hope. Some people say it's always hope. It's always hope. Just like some people saying it's somebody out there for everybody. And you know what? And the sisterhood would be like, yeah, girl, it is. It's somebody out there for everybody. But logical me be like, no, it's not. What do you mean? It's not even statistically possible or probable, because there's way more women on this planet of all races than it is men. So even if you pick somebody from the animal kingdom, I'm sorry, I shouldn't go that deep, that far. But even if you try to find somebody outside your race or whatever, inside your race, statistically, it still ain't even possible. It ain't enough men to go around. So it's statistically impossible, especially when you want to stick with your own race, that there's somebody out there for everybody. Y'all, hey, I need to hear some feedback. I'm hoping, will y'all drop some comments in the comment section and tell me if you think I'm just flat out wrong and you agree with everything she's been saying. Let me know. I just want to know. But if what I'm saying makes total logical sense, I want to know that too. I baited her right into it. I led her right down the road, right where I wanted her to be, and she didn't even know it. So I can describe to her and tell her, okay, let me tell you everything that you're saying, what it sounds like when it comes out your mouth, typing it or verbally, because it's so ingrained now through her trauma and through I'm sure her past relationships and maybe her interaction with men, how she raised, however she came to be about this thought process that she's formulated, that she is so convinced that it is true, that that's her perspective has become her reality. She's so convinced of it, right? So I'm telling her, that man that you keep saying and describing, you've been describing him this whole time. He's got himself together. He's already rebuilt. He took himself off the dating market. He came back after he polished and shined himself up. He came through fire. He's shining like pure gold now, right? He taught himself how to swim with one arm. This man, he got himself together. Everything that you're saying sounds like to him. This is what it sounds like. And I read it. And she still came back and doubled 10 toes down. And she just couldn't get it. She just couldn't get it. She just couldn't get it. One more time on these numbers and statistics, and then I'm gonna wrap this thing up and close it out. One more time, because I don't think that for a lot of us we really understand. Even if you stretch these numbers, even if you don't believe them, even if you say they are off, they're off. The numbers are off. James, the numbers are off. Let's just let's Thanos snap, right? And say that this $100,000 mark, this coveted $100,000 mark, that 20% of Black people, including women, fall in that number. You still got to take the women out the number. You still got to take married men out the number. You still got to take heterosexual, men that are not heterosexual out of that 20%. You still gonna have a probably top 12, 10. You still gonna have a top 10% man, Black man that you're talking about. Top 10%. Even if we allow for a margin of, well, what I'm saying? Even if we just give you the benefit of the doubt and say it's 20% and not 10 as the starting reference point. You're still talking about a guy that falls in the top 10% of men. Just hitting 100 grand and being consistent to do that year after year after year after year. And then you go up here and you talk about you want this Black man to be making 250,000 or more. You're talking about a less than top 1% of a man. I should have pulled up net worth. I should have went. I don't know if I typed it in, it may not find it. And I don't want to waste time trying to find it. I should have went and found Black men who have a net worth of 500, half a million, 500,000 or more. It's folks, people, come on now, ladies, why you don't want to build with a man? Why are we coming up with this term? Why are we calling it struggle love? Why you don't want to build with this man? Why you don't want to build with somebody? Your income, let me take this off screen. His income and all the benefits that come with that in the relationship marriage, you are working together in this relationship, right? Now you qualify for a bigger house because you can use your dual incomes. There's so many other benefits to come with that, in terms of access to health care and just access to so many things when you're married and you have the opportunity to combine those dual incomes. Why you don't want to build with somebody? Why are you calling it struggle love? And why are you doubling 10 toes down that this man's got to come to you at 70K or more? You just ruled out. Look at it right here. Put it back on screen. Black. Even if we go with the average income of individual income, even if we go with the average individual income, including women, Black people on average, $51,394.59. So you've just ruled out so many brothers. They're not worthy. They shouldn't be out here dating based on what she was saying. They shouldn't even be looking for nobody. They shouldn't even be looking to have nobody. Now you could take your 50, he take his 50. Together, y'all got $100,000. Y'all can't work with that together? But no, you don't want him because he's average. Because he's average. So the sisters out here just taking a dump, crapping on just regular working dudes and just saying, y'all beneath us. You ain't even on our level. Because if you was watching, go back if you didn't catch the earlier part of the conversation that started off with us. She basically said, y'all ain't even on our level. And I had to let her know from jump. No, sis, you ain't on my level. You just don't know it yet. No, sis, you ain't on my level. You don't know that dude that's in here that when he gotta know something, he'll stay up for 4 days reading books. No, sis, you ain't on my level. Cause while you getting your hair and your lashes and your nails done and get your lace fronts put in, I'm over somewhere studying something, reading a book, trying to get more knowledge. I'm leveling up more. No, sis, you ain't on my level. Don't get it twisted. You ain't on my level. While you getting your toes done, going on girls trip, come out, but he needs to have a passport. And you want to travel with your girls, go to Miami, and do all of that stuff while you spending your money on your lifestyle, right? Talking about he needs to come to me already put together. You ain't on my level, sis, because while you doing all of that, I am constantly working on myself. Even when you say I'm already put together. No, I don't feel that way. I'm still striving to be better every day. I don't feel like I'm arrived. You do, because you said you want him already to come to you put together. But for me, you see me put together. Me, I see me still needing to level up even more. So now, sis, you ain't on my level. And I had to let her know that from jump, but she don't get it. She ain't gonna get it. You ain't on my level. You need to get that. You ain't on my level. Good morning, Vanessa. James has come with the graphs and the charts this morning. Don't play with him. Yeah, you ain't on my level, sis. You are not on my level. You think you are, but no, you ain't on my level. Because you ain't putting in the work every day because you believe that there's a starting point and an arrival destination. And for the kind of man that you keep saying you want, he ain't got no arrival destination point. So no, sis, you're not on my level. And women who think like that, I'm just going to say it straight. Women who think like that, in my opinion, they are emotionally and psychologically dangerous. You know why? Because you can't teach them nothing. They will be combative. You can't teach them nothing. Because from jump, they believe that they are already above you and that you're trying to come up to where they are. And not so. I'm going to say it again. Nah, sis, you ain't on my level. And you never will be. Hey, Vanessa, you should drop something. Hey, Vanessa, we've never met face to face, but we've texted, we've talked a couple times, and She was just inquisitive about some things, and right out the gate, free. We ain't charging her no money, just free. We dropped some advice and some things, her way. Say, hey, do this. This is something that you can work on. And right out the gate, she benefited from the first thing she did to the point where it leveled her up in a certain area of her life. And like I said, I'm not going into no details, but she was like, whoa, and girlfriend is running with it. And it has blessed her life. It has blessed her life. And I love to see people happy because they was like, hey, I've been thinking about that. I've been watching you doing this, moving like this, doing this, blah, blah, the things you've been saying. And I'll just throw it at her, that she can throw it at her. She's like, well, let me try it, and boom. Oh, snap. We was like, hey, we was texting each other, and I could see her probably doing this dancing because I was over here doing like, hey, Vanessa, go ahead, girl. Right out the gate, go ahead, girl. I know, right? Vanessa say, yeah. Yeah, girl. Oh my goodness. But hey, if you've been enjoying today's video, building with a man, or is it struggle love? To build or not to build? I wants to know. I don't see nothing wrong with building with that man if you can assess his character. We're not talking about potential. We're talking about assessing his character. All right. If you've been watching on YouTube, hey, I'd love to get you to subscribe to the channel. It's free to do that. Continue to help us to grow over here. And you can press that thumbs up like button on the video. Drop some comments below. Ring the notification bell. Hey, if you press the bell, when new videos get uploaded, you'll just get a notification about it. You can watch it then, or you can watch it later. Right here on Facebook, if you're watching on my personal page, we like to see if you press the thumbs, enjoy today's content and show. Press the thumbs up on the video. Help us out algorithm. Share the video. Just pressing the thumbs up and dropping a comment in the comment section if you come through. Just pressing that thumbs up button or pressing the heart button will put this video in the algorithm, because our people need to hear this. I don't know if y'all know this, but marriage rates among Black people are steadily and rapidly declining. And I've been saying from the start that I believe that one of the reasons why, and statistical data shows that 80% or more, 80% of millionaires are married. As well as statistical data shows like 83 to 84% of all Black men, when they reach the $100,000 or more mark in terms of income, they are seeking a partner or someone to be in marriage and relationship with who is of the same ethnicity. They are looking, I don't care what these narratives, we need to stop buying into these narratives. Statistical data shows that 83 to 84% of these men are looking for a partner of the same ethnicity. They're looking for a Black woman. But when you get our sisters thinking like that, so press the thumbs up, like button, heart button here on Facebook. Help us get this video in the algorithm. I'm sorry once again because my voice, I can't do my usual, I gotta go thing. It's just, I can't get it really to come out, but I got it. Yeah, see, I gotta go. Thanks for watching again. I appreciate y'all very much. Now I'm begging. Would y'all please leave some comments? Would you please press the thumbs up button? Come on, is that too much to ask? You've been laughing the whole time in the video. You've been watching. Just press the thumbs up like button. But I gotta go. Thanks for watching once again. It's been James Hollingsworth on the Working People's Podcast, where everybody desires to build generational wealth and a financial legacy for their families.